And good afternoon, folks. Good evening. Warp103, bringing you guys another one. This time here, I know we've been away a while. We're looking at Fantome the tank. So sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy the show. And thank you for viewing this video. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the icon above, and then of course hitting the bell icon to get notifications when the next video drops. So here we go. Okay, we've been gone for a minute. We haven't posted a lot and everything else that. Well, that's because for the last 6 months and everything else, I've been dealing with some house issues here with my son getting into a motorcycle accident. So people that have seen me on Facebook and everything else that probably know about that he was in a major accident. So I've been taking care of him. So, but we're now going to start getting back into the swing of things. So I'm going to start posting some videos. This is a holiday ops tank, and you have to look at it versus patton the tank, gsor the tank, and we're going to use one tank that is actually a premium tank. And that's the T54D, because it's actually a premium tank. Now, the problem I'm having is that I have a lot of people that are CCs that are fucking glazing this tank. Stop glazing this tank. This tank is not that good that way. Stop it. I'm literally seeing people making videos trying to showcase how much money it's making and everything else of that. And then you're factoring in that the money that they're showing is doing holiday ops. If you look at this tank versus how it is, and there's one person that did it with just premium time, when you look at the tank and you look at how much it makes, this tank is losing money left, right, and center. Plain and simple. We're not talking about anything else because, again, since it's an autoloader, autoloaders have to load a magazine. So since you have to load a magazine, you're either going to load a standard round magazine or a premium round magazine. Now, most people, when they're using an autoloader, because if you miss part of the clip, your DPM goes to shit, you're going to be using premium rounds. So with patton the tank, gsor the tank, and even the T53, they can use standard round and switch to premium when they need to. So for that alone, you're going to be losing this. So stop it. The other thing is, it's not a premium tank. It's a reward tank. So you don't get the extra dollars, the credits, when you play the tank. So dipping in the gold, like I already just discussed a minute ago, is going to say, your money. Okay. Now, let's go on to the stats, because that's what people want to really know about. All right. We have all three tanks here. They're all medium tanks. Note that it has the lowest DPM on all of them. But Warp, it's an autoloader. Okay. Autoloaders are great if it has a great burst fire and a great interclip reload. So it does have a 4-round clip. The problem is the interclip reload is this long. Problems. Okay, let's keep going. Shell velocity is behind most of the other tanks except for patton the tank. It does have a good ammo capacity. You can see by the penetration, except for the patton the tank, it's behind the other two tanks in the category. It's also the lowest when it comes to actual damage when you're trading shots. Again, another bad issue. So, we're going to go down. We are at the stage when you're looking at the aim time. This is way too goddamn long compared to all of the rest of them. Now, it matches patton the tank. Now, again, if anybody remembers when the reviews for the patton the tank were out a while ago, and not just for me, for most of the regular people, they absolutely thought it was crap. So why are you giving this a pass when you can look at gsor the tank stats even better? The T54D stats are even better. So that's a problem. Okay. Now, Everybody's gonna be like, but it has massive gun depression. Okay. This has the hydrodramatic suspension, and anybody that's played the modern hydrodramatic suspensions in these games know that they are shit. Because it takes, you on the ground, you want to go down here, you can point the thing, but instead of it going down like this easily, it's like, then it goes down. There's a hitch in the mechanic for the hydrodramatic suspension that does not make it smooth. So you're rolling up to a hill, and you point down, then you got to wait a couple of seconds before the point down even more like this. And that's a couple of seconds there. It's going to take you a minute, and then your gun is moving at that point, and you're going to get what? Smacked. So again, another thing. We're going to keep rolling with that. So don't think that this 13 degrees is really special. It's not. Because again, natively, without having to do much, Patton the tank and gsor the tank outdo it each time. If they all three roll to the same hill at the same time, the Patton the tank and the gsor the tank is going to get a shot off and roll backwards before the Fantome gets to be able to do it, because again, it's going to take that tick for the hydrodramatic suspension to come in. Now again, it is better than the D, but again, this is exception because its gun is better and it technically has more armor, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, speed wise, yes, it's faster. Great, we appreciate that, because you'll see why it's faster in a minute. So its reverse speed is on par with all the other ones, and again, reverse speed I count as a bit more. It does outclass the 54D because reverse speed is only 15. The power to weight is better than all three of them, but then you look at the terrain resistances. And you're like, what the hell? Did it get beat with an ugly stick? So the range resistances are working except for gsor the tank. So when you actually look at what it actually does, the other ones are actually faster when it does a lot of the turning when it needs to do stuff like that. So yeah, you got great power to rating resistance, but your ground resistances are trash. So overall, as you can see by the numbers, even though you got more, it's actually less. Cool. And again, you have to remember that it's actually worse because you have the auto seize on and off mode. So when you get to the auto seize auto mode, that's what I'm saying. When you get to that and it got to creep up there and to get to there, to go backwards, there's a hitch in it for you to actually reverse faster or go forward faster. So again, the other three are going to do that better if you're on a hill where you really need to use the set. Okay, cool. Then you look at the armor. Bruh. It only has better armor than gsor the tank in the body of the tank. When you look at the turret, everybody and their mama at tier 7 is punching through it. And I'm going to show you this now. This is first in the AT. And you can see straight in the face most of all of the tank. I'm just going to go up and down like this. There's some sections where you can auto balance, but most of the time, you see the hit chance, most of it is over 60%, but most of the time, if you're looking at aiming just straight to the face, this thing eats it almost over the whole entire section. All right, now let's look at gsor the tank. Okay, I'm gonna put it back and make sure I got it about the same distance. No, actually, yeah, it's about the same distance. gsor the tank. You notice that there's more areas on the front of the tank that have auto bounce angles or chances that is going to be. So you're more likely to bounce with gsor the tank than you are with the other tank. It's just how it is. Again, if someone's facing this from the front, literally they can just shoot underneath the gun and they're penetrating every time, even if they're hull down. Again, there's almost no place on here that they can't just straight right by the gun for a bigger area that they can slap it in the face. Whereas gsor the tank, Yeah, the percentages there is much slower for most of the area because the angles on it are so crazy, and plus I'm using a tank destroyer. If you're giving a tank destroyer this honor, if you're doing a medium tank, this even worse. Where I looked at the medium tank for this here, since it's 150, and most medium tanks can pin 150. So again, I'm not sure why people are glazing this, because as soon as it's seen even by tier 7, it's going to get pinned. You don't need no gold, you don't need nothing with G's on the tank. You have a tougher time. You got to really aim. Now I know they got the ammo, the flashlight thing that'll make that easier, so that. But I'm just saying, overall, this is a much easier tank to go hold down with. And again, if he's using his gun depression the way it's supposed to be and everything else, that. Now the other one does have a higher gun depression, but the problem is you can see right here and stuff that. Good luck. If you do and again, the hydrosomatic is not this fast. It's just not. It looks like it's fast, like it does like this. It doesn't. There's a hitch to it because you lean down, and then from there you have to wait for a second for it to actually, then it'll go down. So, yeah. And again, it can be that whole blue section right there. It can just be punched in the face easily, no matter what you do. So, yeah. So, let's look at the rest of the stats. Yes, you heard me right. Tier 7s can punch through the turret armor. With the effective of these guys here and everything, so that tier 7s will be hard pressed. Of course, they can load gold, but even loading gold, they're going to have a hard time pressing through all 3 of the other armors. Yes, I know this will look like it's close. It's not, because the way the gsor the tank armor is, it has auto bounce angles that is not really represented here. With this is a box. You look at the tank. I mean, seriously, it's a box. You can see by looking at it, there's no flat spot. Sorry, it's all flat spots. Excuse me, I just said it backwards. There's all flat spots, so it's going to get pinned by everything. And that turret is long. Let's be clear. You see how long this thing is? The roof here is overmatchable, and artillery, since the roof and the back deck is flat, you're going to eat so much damage for an artillery shell that you're going to be upset. Because with the other ones, since it's rounded, that dissipation is going to make it better, that it's not going to get maximum pinned. A flat surface like this coming in with no angle to it, you're going to get smacked so hard, you're not going to be able to remember your damn name. But let's keep on rolling. Oh, all right. We've talked about the base armor. All right. Engine health is a little bit better than one, worse than the other 2 by a lot. Track health is the same. Ammo rack, again, even the guys are saying, oh, this is great and everything else, that will tell you that you're going to get ammo racked in this thing so much that it's going to be ridiculous. The only one that gets ammo racked more is the T54D, and you have to actually use the module to stop that from happening. So basically, one slot is going to be dedicated to stopping you from getting ammo racked. Regardless of your other configuration, if you don't slot that one inside of it to stop you from getting ammo racks, you're toast. Plain and simple. Okay, cool. Fuel tanks are the same. Track repair time is forever long. 11.7 seconds. Even if you use all the other stuff to get it down, it's only going to be around what these guys are base. So, I don't understand that. All right. Camo is really good compared to the rest. Because it's a really short tank. View range is standard. It's still not as good as gsor the tank. And again, that's why I like gsor the tank are the best out of this list. Because it's going to be able to see further, and you don't have to use as much equipment. And the other thing is, this thing radio range, you'll literally be on maps, especially larger maps, when you can't communicate with somebody that's outside of your range. So you won't effectively know what's going on. Yes, I've seen it happen. And again, I haven't played it on my NA account, but I do have an EU account, NL account to play this on. Yeah, and then your fire chance. Oh, gsor the tank has a fire chance issue, so you got to bring firefighting for this. For the other two, you don't. All right, shell cost if using standard rounds is great. Yay! But the minute you sling in the heat rounds, because I want to change everybody to their heat rounds. So again, we're comparing apples to oranges here. Sorry, apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Okay. Same there. Costs slightly better than gsor tank, slightly worse than patton the tank. Sorry, slightly better than patton the tank and the other one. Now, notice that this has a gold price to it. Because again, this is an actual premium tank. So out of the 4, the D is going to make you more money. But if you're playing and want to play more effectively, gsor the tank effectively is the best one off the list because of its gun stats. So it's one of these ones where you're like, what's going on here? And gsor the tank has this thing here where its gold shell is different. It does more damage, and this is one of the appreciate. It's like one of I can't think of the other tank off the top of my head that's like that. It's a British tank that has that. But anyway, so yeah, your penetration is going to go down, but your damage is actually going to go up. So again, is this tank a bad tank? No, it's not a bad tank. It has some pluses, again, because it's an autoloader. It has some things going for it, but I have no problem with the tank per se, but I need people to stop glazing this tank. Because again, the tank is not that good compared to the other 3. And I'm effectively saying it's actually slightly below all the other tanks except for the 54D, but the 54D has a characteristic that is going to make a crap ton of money. So top would be patton the tank. Sorry, the top would be gsor the tank. Then you have patton the tank, and the Fantome is, depending on what maps you on, will be slightly better than the 54D or slightly worse than the 54D. But overall, the 54D is going to make the most money out of all these tanks. So that's my thing on it. This is Warp103, where they say warp out. Have fun. We're going to catch you guys on the next one.